before the rise of the so-called 5G technology, we used to have 4G and 3G, etc. This peddling of lies makes it difficult to fight this deadly pandemic. This is because once people start believing this information, then anything that scientists come up with will be rejected. The last section, it's vaccines and the fight against the pandemic. It must be outrightly stated that vaccines, as scientists have pointed out, do not cure, but help the immune system to fight off COVID-19. It must be stated that at this stage that given the info and research done by scientists, vaccines are our immediate way out against this deadly virus, which has ravaged our lives and made the life of being confined the new normal. Research shows that a vaccine is the substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against one or several diseases, prepared from the causative agent of a disease. Its products or a synthetic substance treated to act as an antigen without inducing the disease. In short, vaccines contain the same germs that causes the virus, but they have been either killed or weakened to the point that they do not make one sick. Vaccines have been used throughout history. For instance, Edward Jenner is said to have used material from cowpox pustules to provide protection against smallpox. I think I'll jump and come to the section which says scientists also points to another success by a scientist known as Louis Pasteur, a French chemist and microbiologist renowned for his discoveries of the principles of vaccination. Yeah, let me just pass that long paragraph and come to this. It is, of course, worrying that the rollout of vaccines is very slow. I would have expected our leaders to prioritize the rollout of vaccines, as they seem to be our immediate way out from this pandemic, which has declared war on our communities and lives. The slow pace of the rollout leaves a room for peddlers of fake news to poison us with their misinformation. The slow pace of rollout creates a situation, an undesired situation of putting our healthcare system under immense pressure. This is because of the continuation of high number of hospitalization of our people. The slow pace of the rollout also means that the lockdown continues to be extended. And as a result, our people continue to be confined in starvation and poverty. The slow pace of rollout also means that some industries continue to be closed down, and as such makes it difficult for them to continue to participate, makes it difficult for our people to participate in the economy, which is shrinking day in and day out. Chair, let me leave it at that, then we can have a conversation. Chair.
Yes, Dr. Lephakga.
Yeah,
Dr. Shibalo, are you here? Dr. Shibalo, are you okay now?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, no.
Can you lead the discussion then?
Yes. Okay. Firstly, I just want to thank Prof. Lephakga for the very fruitful presentation that he has given us. I can really see that this man is an academic, and he really stood to his position as a professor. So I was listening, and I could see that in his presentation, you really gave us a good background to the topic, and then also help us to understand the virus and its symptoms. Then you went on to show us the way it spread, how we can protect ourselves, the impact in our lives, in our environment, in our communities. Also went on to talk about the lockdown and the lies associated with it. I was also happy to realize that you also indicated the church is fighting against the virus or what the church is supposed to do. You also shared with us well that. I also like that the fact that you also talked about the stigma associated with it and the false news related to it. And again, I also like the fact that you also changed the topic as we have given it to you, and you made it simple for us so that we can understand it in a broader way. Thank you very much. But this is the time now for questions and comments from participants. You are now welcome. Please raise your hand if you want to talk, ask, or comment. Thank you very much, Prof. Lephakga.
Oh, thanks.
I can see Zanele. Zanele, okay, you're welcomed.
Okay, thank you, Professor Lephakga, for the presentation. I was drifting in and out of the session due to connectivity issues. And thank you again for the wonderful presentation. I think that there's another dimension of vaccination that is not talked about, and that is called vaccine injuries. And this is closely monitored by the Center for Disease Control department called VAERS. It's a government-funded project. And so far, basically in the week, this week alone, there were about 12,674 vaccine injuries. And these include death, it includes cardiac issues, and about, from what I can gather, about 30% of these deaths are reported within 48 hours of vaccination. And some of the injuries are reported within, 15% are reported within 15 days, 24 hours. So what's happening is that the vaccine, I believe in vaccines. I believe all my children are immunized, but I believe that the technology that is currently being used has not been tested. And I think that we also should look into that, into the technology that's been used. Is it the same technology that was used 60 years ago? Because in the past, they would use a weakened virus. This time, they're not using a weakened virus. They're using actually like a messenger RNA, which actually contains the same spike protein that is causing the problems. So I believe in vaccination. I think that those who want to vaccinate should vaccinate. But I believe that a lot more studies need to be done in light of these statistics coming from the government themselves. I don't know if you've heard of these. I'm sure you have heard of these vaccine injuries. Maybe you can say something around that, Professor.
Okay, Prof.
All right, Dr. Chibalo, thank you very much. Brother Gianni, yes, I've seen the work that is being done with regard to, complications that have been caused by vaccinations, and of course, I think in the presentation itself, I've said in the immediate, vaccines seem to be our only way out. Now, and of course, I think we as people, are allowed to have to hold different opinions, but I'm just saying, in the immediate, vaccines seem to be our only way out, given the impact of what this virus has done to our lives. So yeah, in short, that's what I'm going to say. And yes, like I said, I'm aware of those complications. Maybe other colleagues can assist in that regard, so that we have a conversation around that matter. Thank you, Dr. Chibalo.
Okay, thanks a lot. Maybe I could just add to say what I've heard about the complications is the fact that if you have other diseases, other comorbidities, usually the vaccine has maybe something like a negative impact on you. So, but people who do not have all these other diseases, usually there are no such after effects of the vaccination. I have gone for the first vaccination. I felt nothing. I mean, after 15 minutes, we sat there and listened to myself. After 30 minutes, up to now, I never felt any difference. So I think it depends on the persons and their body's response to it. But as you have indicated, vaccine seems to be the way out to this. Can somebody raise a hand and add or subtract or give us your opinions about this? Thank you. Please raise your hand if you want to talk or comment or ask questions.
Thank you, Chairperson, Reverend Dr. Jibaro. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Professor Reverend Lephakga, for a wonderful presentation.
Sorry, Kinalimang, you didn't raise your hand. You must follow the method. There is a person. Yeah, you must raise the hand first.
You can check. I think I did.
Oh, I didn't see it. So, but now I can see it now. Okay, so Kinalimang will talk, then Victor will talk, then one after another. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Rev. Hassan. Okay. Professor Reverend Lephakga, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. It is thought-provoking every day, every minute, and every hour. But my question is very simple. From what you just said now, so if you were given another platform to address, would you convince people in any community not to go and vaccine or what? That is my question.
Okay. I noted. Let me hear from Professor Kritzinger, and then the other guys. I can see the other end again. Professor Kritzinger.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I also want to thank Prof. Lephakga for a very informative and a wide-ranging paper. Yeah, I want to just respond to the questions that Brother Gianni has raised. Let me say, I think one shouldn't say the vaccine is the answer or the only answer. Some people have compared this to the idea of filters. The virus, you must try to prevent the virus from getting through to your body. So you need to put up as many barriers to the virus as possible. So wearing a mask, washing your hands, social distancing, avoiding close contact with a lot of people in the same room, and vaccination are all different filters, different layers of clothing, you can say, that keeps the virus out. We shouldn't think that once you've been vaccinated, you can walk around without a mask, etc. It's only one element in a configuration or a combination of strategies to try to prevent the virus from getting to you. Secondly, certainly there are side effects, all in vaccine side effects. They are much less than the disease itself. And it also doesn't prevent you from getting the virus, even if you use all the barriers possible. But vaccination does prevent you from having less severe symptoms to people. Now, I don't know if Brother Johnny has research. I was away for a few seconds. I didn't hear his whole story very well. Maybe if there's published research to say, yes, 1,000 people have had negative side effects and some have died, then one must take that obviously very seriously. But so many people are dying around us of the virus that I think we should use every possible barrier and not trust in the vaccine alone, but use it as one of the barriers that science.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. I like the fact that you emphasize the point of prevention. I think it's very, very there is another person that is that I've missed. Is it Victor or I can't remember that name? I can't see that hand again. Maybe Professor Parker, you can respond now from these two. Then the other one that I forgot, I couldn't write down his name. But please respond to these two questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Dr. Chibala, I think I think Professor Kretsenga has captured well, and I think I agree with him. It seems like I use the word it seems vaccines are our only way out now. And so Professor Kretsenga has captured well that, of course, also do these other things. It doesn't, like I said in the presentation, it doesn't cure, of course, it fight off this, this virus. So